He has spent a week of an announcement a day, and some of them have been quite remarkable. He was on CNN's Late Edition, where he took credit for the internet. Let's look at Al Gore.
During my service in the United States Congress, I took the initiative in creating the internet.
There you go. He did it all by himself.
You know, back then they didn't have, pods.
The interwebs.
The interwebs. Thank you, Al Gore. Thank you.
Welcome to Podpinions, where the world's on fire, and we show up like it's a backyard barbecue. Politicians, roasted. Woke trends, torched. Common sense, we've got you covered.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Podpinions.
That's Podpinion if you're in France.
Pignon.
Pignon.
I like that.
Podpinion.
We'll have to do one with some berets or
no,
something.
in subtitles. Little French subtitles.
Yes, yes. We can drink a...
That'd be funny. We'll have some red wine here.
Yes, yes, some cheese.
Oh, absolutely. Wine and cheese party.
Yes.
We'll have to invite 300 of our closest friends.
Get some of those striped shirts,
Yeah, right.
They used to have.
And then we can do...
make the camera go all kind of...
Who am I thinking of? The mime. The famous French mime.
Right. Who was that?
I can't think of his name. We could do that, too.
Yes, that's true. Well, hey.
Mimes are creepy. They are. They creep me out. You ever go to New York and like you're in like Central Park or something, or down in the Village, and these guys on the street, they're doing their thing, right? And then there'll be a mime.
Right.
And it's just really they just creep me out. They're worse than clowns.
Right. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Because they don't talk.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
They just creep me out. I don't know.
But it looks pretty real what they do.
Yeah, absolutely, but they're still creepy.
Yeah, right.
The creep factor is there. So if any of you out there are mimes, just know you creep some of us out.
Right.
I mean, some people don't like clowns. I don't like mimes.
Yeah, that's true. I know some people that just... They can't even go to like a circus or something.
Right, because I remember going to a circus. You just reminded me of something. Went to a circus with a friend and their kids, right? The one kid was like 7, the other one was 9. And the clown car came out, and the clowns came, piling out, and these two kids just lost it. I just sat there and laughed at them. It was pretty funny.
Kept coming out, right?
Yeah. And these kids were freaking out.
Right.
I mean, like screaming, like in sheer terror.
Right.
And their dad and me just sat there laughing at them. But I guess it wasn't funny. They're probably still going to a shrink.
Yeah, well, you never know. Maybe they're over the clown thing now.
Or maybe.
It could be.
Now they're clowns.
That's true. Yeah, it could be.
Anyhow.
So what we got this week?
Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. The big one that hit me, besides, all the anti-Trump stuff, besides that, the senator from, where was it, Louisiana, I believe, wasn't it? Yeah.
Alabama, Louisiana.
Alabama, I take that back. Tommy Tuberville. He's going to leave his Senate seat wide open for the midterms, and he's going to run for governor of Alabama. So to me, the way I'm looking at it is that he's completely screwing us over because we have such a small minority or majority that if that seat doesn't get filled by a Republican, we're screwed. Right. But yet Trump supposedly is endorsing him to run for governor. So I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll have to see who's going to be running for his seat. Yeah, that's a tough one to...
Because he replaced Jeff Sessions when he became Attorney General. And we all know how that worked out, right?
Yeah, he reclused himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Great pick.
Well, unless he's Trump looking at if he becomes governor, then he doesn't have to worry about him being wishy-washy in the Senate.
True.
I don't know.
But it depends on who's going to fill that Senate seat.
Right. And who they're going to run against him.
Right. So that's going to be a big one. That hit me first thing this morning when I saw that. I was like, whoa, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm into this creepy thing tonight. I don't know why. Mimes, this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's a great move. At least not. Well, I mean, he can't choose. He's got to run this election cycle. He can't wait till the next one for governor.
Correct.
But, yeah, I don't know if that's a good move or not. I guess we'll see who's coming up the pick in the.
It's going to be interesting. Well, this whole midterm
him.
thing is going to be interesting because the Democrats are starting already.
Right.
With the trouble stuff. I mean, just spewing their hate. And I
It's-
got attacked.
I think it's getting old, though.
It's very old.
It's just everybody's getting tired of being told they're a racist and
A Nazi?
whatever phobe they can come up with this week.
Right.
And it's just getting really just kind of getting old. It's the same. It's like, you only have one record.
We're only
Buy
5
another
months
one.
into this thing.
You should have kept up with CD or cassettes and then CDs and then digital. You're still playing that one record you got when you were 3.
There was a little
Yeah,
the cylinder, an Edison
the
cylinder.
romper room little.
Oh, the little plastic flexible things?
No, the little. Remember the suitcase type
Oh,
record
yeah, right.
player, the little 45s you used to put on there, and then it had to. Well, you could play the large ones too, the
Right.
33s,
But you needed the adapter,
yes,
the 45 adapter. I still have one.
gotta love adapters.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, our light went out,
Yeah.
didn't it? No,
Nope, it's
something
still
went
on.
out. That was weird. What was that?
It was I don't know, remnants from the truck from last week, I guess.
Yeah, right.
I haven't heard that this week yet.
Shh. Shh. Other weird stuff. We're having a mouse outbreak. So we, I guess, mommy mouse gave birth, and there's been these little itty bitty babies running all. They're really cute, but they're just. We scoop them up and take them outside and let the birds eat them.
Dogs
just
come
kidding.
down,
Yeah. No, but they're all over the place in this building. So, I mean, it is an old building. It's an old barn from the 1800s.
Right.
That was moved to this location with electric and plumbing.
That's yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. At least you don't have to use an outhouse.
Right. I mean, we could, but but we have mice all over the place. But that was weird because the light flickered or did something. That was just odd.
Yeah. Yep. Technical issues when
A
you
glitch.
Yes. And since we're sitting here, we don't have a crew.
Right. We're We're the
Yeah.
crew too. Hey, we
The crew, too.
We made 2 cents this week
Yeah.
with our podcast on Rumble.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're on our way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a start. Hey, other people have started with less.
What is it? Trump's discontinuing the penny, so
That's right. What are
They
we going to
might
do?
be-
They're going to have to
they-
round it up to a nickel.
they'll those 2 cents might be actually worth something one day.
That's right.
Pennies.
If they write us a check for the 2 cents, though, it'll cost them more to process that than to give us.
Right,
it
right.
just makes no sense to me. But hey, keep those pennies coming. Then what
else we got?
Well, Zelensky and Putin.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Trump said that Putin is crazy or something to that effect. I forget the exact quote, but he's out of his mind.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that's just getting old. Both of them don't want to give in.
They're both like little
And,
kids.
Yeah. And they're playing with people's lives.
Right.
And that's the problem. And, there's plenty of Russians and Ukrainians here in the States. I mean, that have families over there and whatever. I think it's time to end it.
Absolutely.
I don't see any benefit for basically either one. I think it was nonsense, the whole poking the bear with the joining the United Nations. That's my opinion, my Podpinion. I think
Opinion.
Yeah, Podpinion. I have to practice that. Podpinion. Is that for in?
That's if you're in Montreal.
Well,
the French
I would
Canadian.
just see. Did you see the French president? He was getting off the plane or something, and looked like his wife slapped him in the face.
That was pretty good.
So maybe in honor of the French.
Yeah, there you go.
Podpinion.
Podpinion. That should be the new logo. Yeah. That'll be our video logo. But no, the both of them are like little kids. All these people are dying, and Trump said something about I don't have the exact quote, but it was something. I'm paraphrasing now, but it was something similar to, if he continues to do that, he's really going to be in some deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
And then then Putin's emissary.
With fire, I think.
Yeah,
Playing
right.
with fire.
Playing with fire. And then Putin turns around and through his emissary said something to the effect of, well, then there's World War III. So who's pushing for what?
Right.
You know?
Right. I think.
And then you got the little Ukrainian dude, like, you know, throwing gas on the fire.
Yep. Yep. And there is no good solution to any of it. It just needs to stop.
Right.
It just really needs to stop. It's like watching two siblings go at it forever and ever, and it's just stop. Or, you know, two rival gangs ripping up the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to stop.
Well, did
Somebody's
you
gotta
see the
come
other
in.
day? I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. Russia was like launching missiles into Ukraine, and one got really, really close to Poland. Did you see that?
I heard about it. I didn't.
So
see
if one went into Poland, then what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it's like World War III, because now Poland's
We
a
just got to
NATO
stop
nation.
talking about World War III and just stop, because nobody wins in World War III.
Right.
Nobody wins. And I
No,
think
the cockroaches do.
Well, yeah. But
And Hostess Twinkies.
that's true.
They'll still be here, and we won't.
But even the the elite building these bunkers and stuff. I mean, how long can you actually think you can stay down there?
I don't know. I just saw one on Facebook, and Facebook Marketplace, no less. It was a 12,000 square foot bunker that was made from an old nuke silo in Kansas, right? On, I think it was like 200 acres or something. And they showed an aerial view, and then they gave you a tour through the thing. And it was an actual missile silo from the Cold War left over. And some company like refurbished this thing, and it's up for sale for like $400,000.
Yeah.
It's a deal.
What a bargain.
Yeah, right. But like you said, how are you going to? How
Right.
long can you stay
Right.
there?
I mean, unless you've got some secret renewable energy source.
Well,
By the
yeah.
time, if there's a really close hit and everything is radioactive, I mean, how long can you really stay down there? It's going to take years and years and years.
Right.
It's a lot of Twinkies.
And even if you have solar up on top and you
Right.
can grow stuff,
What was that movie?
which one?
It was with where the guy was a scientist. It was like the Cold War era.
Can you be more vague?
And this plane, they were talking about. I think it was they made the movie around like the Bay of Pigs time.
So it was
and
like
the nuclear war,
62, 63-ish?
and then a plane actually crashed into their house,
I don't remember that one.
and they went down and did the airlock and everything, and
Really?
they stayed down there for 20 years or whatever. And
But
then,
but how did they survive?
Well, he had water filtration, and they had fish down there,
Oh,
and
okay.
plants, and he had set it up as a I can't remember the name. It was Brendan Fraser? I think he was in there.
I don't remember this movie. You sure it wasn't a dream you had?
No. And the dad had a heart attack or something, so he went up to see if anything survived. And then, of course, he come up in the 80s, and everything was
Different.
different. And, yeah, it was a pretty cool movie. I don't remember the name of it. But,
Thanks.
yeah.
Now I'm going to have to search.
Something to look up.
That's right. I don't
Put in the
remember that one.
comments what that movie was.
Yeah, please help us. Wow. So again, with this Russian-Ukraine thing, I mean, I feel bad for Trump in that he really is trying to end this thing.
Yeah.
And Marco Rubio is trying to end it. And they're just not. I mean, I really think at this point Putin's being a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't want it to give up.
Right.
Or doesn't want to give up.
Right.
And he just wants the Ukraine.
And it's just posturing. I think it's a lot of, nobody wants to give in and save face and whatever, but it's just time.
But now Trump this morning, I believe, said something about tariffs on Russia and sanctions if he doesn't stop, which I don't think will do squat.
No. I think if he puts like a 400% tariff on, that might...
Maybe. But it might piss him off and he'll launch a nuke at Ukraine, too. You know what I mean?
See, I just... There's no good ending on that. That's the problem. Like, Russia's not going to come out okay.
Well, nobody will.
Right. So I just don't see that as a plausible, like, threat or... I mean, I know it's a threat, but I just don't... Why?
None of it makes sense.
No. There's something there. I don't know what it is. We know there's been talk about Ukraine, and I'm sure there's stuff going on in Russia because they brought up the Russiagate. It's always been Russia. So is there something there that they're deflecting onto Trump?
Maybe. Very possible.
It seems like everything else they do, it's like whatever I'm doing, like Letitia. How do you say that in French?
Who cares? Tish.
Whatever they're doing, they just deflect onto whoever they're targeting.
Right.
And they make them out to be the bad person, and they know exactly how to phrase it and how to make it look like they're doing it because they're actually doing it.
But it's all Trump's fault.
Right.
He's the bad guy.
Right. So they can come up with these scenarios and all this stuff because they're actually doing that in real life. So they know the game plan because it's in their back pocket. You know.
It's sad, though, because I'm just sick of the nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, really sick of it. I don't know if you folks are sick of it, but it just... I want to go back to the way it used to be where everybody got along. Even if you had disagreements, you could still, like, at the end of the day, and I hate that phrase or that catchphrase, but the end of the day, you could, like, hug and be friends. Whereas now it's, you're an asshole and I'm never going to talk to you again.
Right. Yeah, and that's the way the world's become. But I don't know how much we can change our DNA. You know, from the beginning of time, it's always been little tribes. You know what I mean?
True. But somewhere, going back to what you keep saying is what changed.
Right.
So what changed here?
With Putin.
No, I'm just talking in general with people hating each other.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, I just think there's, if you look into this mass formation, hypnosis, it's basically a slow progression of fear and pressure to the point where people can't take it anymore and they just go frickin' bonkers. And then what they do is they put on the pressure and they back it off just a little bit to give you a breather, and you think, oh, God, and then they keep pressuring it. So everything we're doing, and this is a slow progression throughout the years. You keep saying, you know, we wish you could go back, but it's been a slow progression over the decades of, you know, Cold War and the threat and the fear of being nuked, and now we're doing this again with Russia. Oh my goodness, he's going to nuke us.
Get under your desk.
It's fear.
Hide under your desk.
Yeah. Your school desk is going to say.
You remember that?
Yes.
Duck and cover, kids.
Yes, that's right. I think we all ought to go out and buy an old school desk because that'll save you.
Absolutely. Actually, when I was in, I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade, at Harrison Elementary School in Livingston, New Jersey, which is still standing. But they would take a single file down to this cloakroom behind the auditorium. Actually, it was a gymnasium / auditorium. And, you know, the basketball thing on it with the hoops. And then there was a little stage for plays and whatnot. But behind that was this little cloakroom. Not a coat room, a cloakroom.
Cloakroom.
And there was even a sign there that said cloakroom. So, they'd have us sit in there, you know, kind of curled up like this
Right.
as a drill. And I'm thinking, now looking back, it's like, are you kidding?
Yeah. Yeah. But again,
We'd be vaporized.
it's like that stuck with you forever, and it doesn't make sense now. But when you think
It didn't make sense then.
no, I know, but I'm saying, but you were afraid,
Right. Oh, terrified.
and so was everybody else.
Right. I mean,
And-
that thing, I don't know if it was a horn. It was over the PA system. It was some kind of weird noise. And we all knew,
Right.
duck and cover.
Then they had the what was it, nuclear
Yeah, right.
symbol
Right.
for down in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this wasn't even in a basement.
Right.
So we'd really be toast.
Right. Yeah.
I actually picked up, this is pretty funny, at a yard sale. I forget what was it was, I can even picture it's like yellow, and it had the circle with the triangle on it, right?
Right.
And it's a radar, or like a detector
Okay.
for radiation. Yeah.
Like a Geiger.
Yeah, almost.
whatever.
From the 1960s.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got it for $10, and
Wow.
it still works.
You might be able to sell it one day
Woo
soon.
woo.
For a big price, you could trade it in for a silo.
Yeah, right.
But that's the whole premise. And you look back at just history.
But who was behind this is my question.
Just anybody that wants power, I think. If you look back,
But it's like it was passed down through the ages
right?
here, you
because
know?
I think it worked in the past and it still works. I think it's just a human. It's just a human function to be scared. I mean, we're mammals. We need to.
I'm not scared. I'm fed up.
No,
You know what I
now-
mean?
Right now, but there's plenty of people out there that are scared still. And if you look at past civilizations, whether it's hieroglyphics or the Mayans, or I mean, they kept their people
Terrified.
scared.
Right.
And if you keep the population scared, then you can control them.
Right.
I guess it's not any different than animals. If they're not, if you're gonna beat them all the time, they're gonna be scared, terrified of doing anything.
True.
So it's the same premise of humans. If you keep them, well, they used to beat them.
We should get a shrink on the show.
Yeah.
We really should.
Well, that's the problem too. It's like, how deep can you go? To me, this is like on surface stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I
But
mean?
it'd still be interesting to hear from a psychiatrist or a psychologist his read.
Right.
Okay, so let's take it to another. We'll take a page back, right? So there's all these people that are running around terrified, right? Some of you are, some of you aren't. Now, like me, I'm just fed up.
Right.
So that you got the fed up people and the people who are afraid. So why is it that there's people that are just fed up and aren't terrified, but there's these people that can't see it?
Probably because one thing is we're lucky enough to go through every decade was a new end of the world scenario.
Right.
It was the Ice Age. Then it was the sun, the hole in the
Right.
ozone.
Ozone, right.
Then
Remember that?
acid rain. Then Y2K.
That was all right. Stop right there. Just stop, because I have a Y2K story. So, if any of you are old enough to remember, and there's quite a few of you that do, it was supposed to be something in the computers,
Yeah.
right? That when the century turned, everything was going to go to like
Right. It's supposed to revert back to
right,
whenever.
and everything was going to power failures.
Bank accounts were going to be erased.
Yeah, right. Everything was going to go to shit. So I got a call for a gig in New York City for New Year's Eve that year, right? And it was going to be at the Jacob Javits Center with a headliner, right? Like major superstar. So the thing was sold out like months in advance. So I get a phone call from the contractor, and he said, the gig has been canceled because of Y2K, and they're turning Jacob Javits Center into a temporary morgue. So wait, it gets better. So he gets everybody that wants the gig to go uptown, like up around Columbus Circle someplace. There was a hotel up there that was having this big ballroom thing, and the band that was supposed to be doing it couldn't get there because of this Y2K nonsense, because they were flying in from somewhere else and they would never make it in time. It's because they were shutting down New York City at like noon, right? So I'd have to get there at like 9 o'clock in the morning, right? And then they were shutting off the elevators in all the buildings at like, I don't know, 11:45. So now you're up on like floor 103 and you're stuck there until after midnight. God forbid something happens, right? So I'm thinking this through, and then you had to park like a million miles away because of Times Square, you know, and then I wouldn't be able to leave until like the next day. And were they giving us rooms? No. So I thought about it, and it's like,
they expect you to not be there, so they didn't have to
buy a room. So I thought this through, and it's like, you know, this isn't going to be worth the hassle. So I bailed, and our light went out. So I bailed. Oh, it's Y2K all over again. So I stayed home with my wife, and 12 midnight comes, and like not even a light flickered. It's like, are you kidding me? Like nothing happened. It's like, come on, at least the power go out. Something. After all, anyhow, that's my Y2K story.
Right. Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break.
All right, we'll be back in a minute.
We're back. The crew actually fixed the light.
Yes. He's got a hat. It says the crew.
Crew. Yeah, I take it on and off. I have a shirt. It says crew. So,
yeah,
anyhow,
so every decade we've had
something
so
we just left off at Y2K. So then after that was 9/11.
9/11, global warming, pandemic. So
several pandemics.
Every decade, yeah, that's right. The swine flu, and
right?
Bird flu, and so, you know, is that a way to keep the population under control?
Maybe.
You know, I've often thought, you know, the theory of UFOs, and I mean, we just had the drones all over the place.
How is it that it just went away? It disappeared.
Right.
Like, what happened to all those drones over New Jersey? We had them like 2 miles from here, over Sanofi, which is a huge pharmaceutical company, and poof, gone. They were even Tobyhanna Army Depot.
Yeah. I have a feeling that it was a test, and people are like, yeah, whatever. This is
because everybody kind of ignored it.
Right.
And they were going out and like throwing rocks at them.
just
Guys
stopped
were
it.
shooting them around here. Oops.
So, you know, you look at the UFOs and the little green man or whatever. What was it? What was the big thing back in the, what was that, 40s or 50s?
Which?
The radio show.
Oh, that was Orson Welles.
Yes.
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Where he freaked everybody out.
Yeah. So
caused mass panic.
You look back at hieroglyphics, for instance, and there's references there to something. Like you see certain ones, there's weird-shaped people, and
let's go through bad artists.
Almost like
like cartoon art or
no,
refrigerator
but was
art.
That a way back then, not to say that there was aliens, but to keep the population scared that there was aliens.
Oh, it's a good point. Maybe.
And that's what they used, as somebody saw this and they wrote this on the wall or whatever.
Right.
You know, back then they didn't have, you know, pods.
The interwebs.
The interwebs. Thank you, Al Gore. Thank you.
Al Gore?
Al Gore.
Al Gore.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know, if you just spin it around and look at it the other way, was that to control the population?
Maybe. But then there's still a certain portion of that, or a certain percentage of the population that doesn't fall for it.
Right. And that's what this...
I mean, to me, it's all like right here.
Right. There's supposed to be like, I don't know, it's 15 or 20% of people cannot be hypnotized. 15 to 20%, I don't remember the exact number, can be, no matter what. They're just easily hypnotized. So if you're doing like 40%, if you do like the 40%, you cut out 40% of the population, now you're working with 60%.
Okay.
That are in between.
They can go
and
either
all
way.
It takes out of that 60%, I believe it's 5 to 6% to be able to convince, and then the herd mentality kicks in, and people start following that percentage. So really, there's a mass majority that won't fall for it. And there's the other ones that can. They're not worried about that, whoever wants to control you. It's that group in between that if you target a certain amount and you can convince them, then it's like dominoes. The rest will fall into play. So
that's pretty scary if you think about it.
And it's scientific. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's been documented. It's been used throughout the years. Dictators, and what do they do? They cause fear, stress, and fear. And I just think that a lot of this. That's why people are what they call waking up or snapping out of it. And once you see it, you're not going to go back. You can't go back. You already see it. But once you're in it, you can't see it because you're in it. So
I seen it. Don't ever say that.
Not around him.
Yeah, right.
T-shirts to follow.
Merch. We're going to do merch.
So
got to get that 2 cents up.
Yes, that's right. No, but that's like a mind manipulation that's used to kind of enslave humanity.
So let's just take one thing just popped in my mind about this, right? So after the George Floyd debacle, you had Nancy Pelosi and all these idiots in the Congress like kneeling, right, with their little masks on because it was COVID time, and they were kneeling in the Capitol. Now, that was like, I don't know what they were trying to do, but I think like 99.9% of the population of this country saw through it. I think. I could be wrong, but I think. So why do they keep doing it?
Because if you repeat it, and you repeat it,
enough times,
and you repeat it like it's truth,
it becomes true.
It becomes true.
That was Joseph Goebbels.
Yes.
Goebbels.
But
but they say that about us.
Right. And again, they can't see it. They can't see it. They're in it. They're told that. They're not showing any examples. They cannot prove any examples. Like Trump was already in office for 4 years.
Right.
So show me 4 years then that what he did, he was a dictator.
He wasn't.
Oh, well, Congress and everybody kept him in check and all that. No. This is, if you look at these other countries that have fallen under dictatorship, that doesn't happen like that.
Right.
They don't care about Congress. They don't care about the laws. They don't care about the Constitution. They just take over.
Not unlike Joe Biden.
Yeah.
In his auto pen.
Joe Biden.
My question with Joe Biden is who is running the auto pen?
The auto pen. I brought that up.
Because this is now getting to be a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's investigations.
So in one part of the 2020 debates, Trump had said, Joe, they're just going to run right over you. You know that.
I remember him saying that.
And Biden was like, I am the, leader of the Democrat Party. And so, I mean, Trump knew back then that he was just going to be a puppet. It's just that not everybody saw it. They saw him as, some kind of leader. He's been in office for whatever, 50 years. And because of that, they just automatically think you're, all-knowing, all-seeing. But they forget that, when he ran for president the first time.
Yeah, he hid in the basement the whole time.
Not that. I mean, back when he got caught.
With the plagiarism.
Plagiarism.
Right. That was in 97, I think. Or somewhere.
He had to
whenever it was.
Apologize and drop out.
Right.
So he didn't. He hasn't changed.
No,
He's still
same
the same
guy.
person.
But who was running the auto pen, considering he was like this
right.
out-of-touch person?
Right.
I'm trying to be kind.
So that's going to have to be really investigated.
Because some of his White House staff is now coming out, anonymously saying how he was pretty much useless.
Right. And what I want to know is when he left office, generally what happens is, you get 6-8 people that go into the mainstream media and they get their own show and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Why hasn't that happened? Why hasn't
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Binder? What happened to Binder?
Yeah.
That's Karine. Not Karen. Karine.
Karine, yes.
With a K, not a C.
Jean.
Right. Whatever.
Podpinions.
Yes, Podpinions.
So, but that hasn't happened. So why is that?
Interesting. Good point.
Is everybody just staying low?
Are
they waiting, knowing they're going to get found out? Because it's going to get found out. I mean,
but what's going to happen? Or is it going to be Trey Gowdy 2.0 again?
I don't know. I hope not.
That guy's the biggest disappointment on the planet.
If it is, it's not really going to be good for the country at all.
I hope not.
It's just going to divide people even more, and it's just not going to be good. It's like what Ukraine and Russia are doing. It's like this is what they're doing to the country here with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that kind of just went away. I heard that there's going to be an investigation with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, but where is it?
Right.
Nothing gets done. It gets talked about, but then nothing actually happens.
Right. So is that because they're going to lose control?
I don't know. But who's going to be losing the control?
Once you pull the curtain back and you see it's really just a person. It's not a wizard at all. Is that going to disrupt everything that they've worked on or built or?
Now, which side are you talking about? Are you talking about both?
Sides?
Right.
Both sides. It doesn't matter. They're both in power. They write strong letters and nothing gets done. So as far as I'm concerned, that's useless.
That's what I mean. Trey Gowdy 2.0.
I don't need a strong letter. I need somebody to get punished like you would punish the underlings that vote for you.
Exactly.
And until that gets to come to fruition, I think everybody's just kind of sitting and waiting and hoping that that's going to happen.
Well, we have a year and a half left before the midterms.
Right.
So they better get off their collective butts and do something about it. Because times are running short.
Yep. And I think, maybe that's why Russia and Ukraine are doing what they're doing.
What, running out the clock until the midterms and then...
Trying.
Right.
And maybe that's what Trump sees. And
he looks tired.
He's had enough.
He really looks tired. I feel bad for that guy.
I mean, they already tried to kill him twice, 2 assassins, plus whatever we don't know.
Right. I mean, yeah, how much don't we know?
Right.
Probably a whole lot. You know what gets me though is like I have some of these musician friends on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, and they were actually rooting for him to like die when he got shot in Butler.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this.
Right.
So then I'll report the post. I mean, some guy put up a really nasty crap today about the 86 47, and wish he would die. We got to go get him. So I report this post to Facebook. We left the post up.
Yeah.
Please explain this to me. Meanwhile,
I
I put up a picture of a Target with a couple holes in it, and they like banned my account.
Right.
I don't get it.
Well, that's what they want people to believe. That's what they're pushing.
Yeah, but
they're pushing that Trump's a dictator and he should be assassinated. That's what they're pushing.
But didn't Zuckerface say that they weren't going to be doing this anymore?
Well, do you trust him?
Of course not. But he said it.
He said it. It must be true. It was on the internet.
No, the interwebs.
Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore. Al Gore. He's been kind of quiet lately.
Yeah, he gets a little fiery every once in a while. I see him. I think his ears are getting a little pointy.
Are they really?
Yeah, I think so.
Turning into a Spock?
Maybe, yeah.
I can't do that. The State Department, if anybody's traveling overseas this summer, just reissued a warning about going level 2 warning, no less, about terrorist probabilities in Italy and most of Europe. So they're talking about like be very careful when you go to Italy.
Be scared.
Right. Absolutely. But that came out this morning.
Yeah.
That they reissued this terror warning for Italy and most of Europe. And to watch out for gangs and all kinds of other stuff, and to stay away from major tourist attractions. Why are you going then?
Right, exactly.
Right? It's like, hello, I'm going there to see the Colosseum. I'm going there to see the Vatican. I'm going there to see but don't go there because there could be a bomb
Right.
or
You could
something.
have Prince Spaghetti Day right here.
That's right. Just go to Little
Remember
Italy
those
in Boston.
commercials?
I do.
They were like acting like they were picking spaghetti off the trees.
And then the guy, spicy meatballs.
Oh, yes. That's right.
The good old days.
That's a spicy meatball.
That's right. He just died recently.
Did he?
Yeah, it was in the news. Poor guy. He must have been like 100
Yeah, at least.
because he was old then.
Yeah, right. Well, it's just like I wonder if you went out like something special on meatball.
Choked on a meatball?
No, I'm saying like a coffin, like shrink wrapped in looks like a pasta bowl or something.
That's wrong.
Well, no, I mean Pringles.
That's true.
He had his coffin made up like a Pringles
Did he really?
can. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, look it up. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No,
I got to look
look
this up
it up.
now. Wait a minute. You keep talking and I'm going
All
to
right.
look. So, Pringles guy.
Yeah.
Pringles man.
Pringles man funeral or something like that. See if maybe it's a.
You sure it wasn't like the Babylon Bee?
Theory.
Sure wasn't the Babylon Bee? Oh, wait a minute.
Ooh.
This is really wrong.
It was his choice.
The first thing, the man buried in a Pringles can. The inventor of the Pringles can, Frederick J. Bauer, was buried with a portion of his ashes in a Pringles can.
Right?
That's just twisted.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man, that's just wrong.
Well, I always said I wanted to find out the, and I it wasn't my thought. Somebody had actually told me about it. Put a tattoo a smiley face on whatever toe they put the tag on.
Yeah.
So the person putting the tag on gets a little laugh, a little smiley face.
That's just wrong. That's wrong. I want a Viking funeral.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Arg. Hagar the Horrible.
Is that cartoon strip still out?
I don't know. I haven't read a newspaper in forever. I don't even. Do they still have cartoons on the paper?
I don't know.
I haven't bought a paper, and I can't tell you how long.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go buy a paper tonight and check it out.
Should be. We should get the Sunday paper, see if they're still in color.
Oh, there we go. I wonder if I can find it. I'll have to wait until next week.
Yeah.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Then we'll bring
We'll
it
let
in
you
and
know.
show and tell.
Hagar the Horrible. That was a good one.
It was. And his wife. who always used to like rag on him.
Yeah. Who was his little?
Oh, it was his little buddy. Who was
Yeah,
his little
I don't
buddy?
remember.
I forget.
Real skinny.
With with the
it was
little,
always
the hat
over
was
his
too big.
eyes.
What else is happening?
Oh, there's plenty of stuff out there. Plenty of stuff.
Did you
It's
hear
like,
about the music awards last night?
No, I didn't.
Unbelievable. Like a bunch of people decided not to show up. I mean, several were ill. I mean, but it was Jennifer Lopez hosted this thing evidently.
Okay.
And
what was it? I mean,
I don't know. It's like some like viewer choice award thing.
Okay.
You know, it's like fans voting for their favorite whatever.
Okay.
And I couldn't watch it. I mean, I don't watch those things.
Yeah.
And I went to one Grammy Awards back in 1980, and that was the year Elton John threw a hissy fit on live TV because he didn't win. It was priceless.
I thought maybe it was the one where Guns N' Roses
No.
swore.
No. I forget what record he was nominated for something. He was sitting like in the third row, right?
I think it was Guns N' Roses.
Huh?
I think it was Guns N' Roses.
And he didn't win whatever category this record was in. And he actually stood up and started screaming at the people on the stage. It was awesome. And then he just threw this major hissy fit and ran out. It was priceless.
And
I wish,
made the news.
That's right. I just wish I had a cell phone back then.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It was great. Dogs are going out.
Uh-oh.
That's my phone. Wife is letting the dogs out.
Yeah.
Either that or it's a bear in the front yard. Mm-hmm. One of the two. Or some meth head.
Yeah,
No, it's
that
not
could
2
be.
o'clock in the morning yet.
Yeah, that's true. It's not dark.
We had a meth head show up at our house one night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden my ring thing went off, and it's like, oh, it's probably a deer or a bear in the front yard, right? So I turn on I'm half asleep, and I turn the thing on. It's like, oh, and there's a face like in the camera, like, and this woman's banging on the window. She's banging on the door. So I'm thinking, do I meet her at the door with a gun? But wait, there could be people that's with her in the bushes trying to break in, or do I talk to her through the doorbell? So I talked to her through the doorbell. And she's telling me it's cold outside and she needs to come in and use my phone. Now, this is the age of cell phones. Mm. And she had this weird little stuffed animal under her shoulder or under her arm. So I said, can I help you? And she's like, I need to come in, blah, 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 blah. I said, you know what? I'll call the police and they can come help you. Poof, gone. Disappeared into the woods, never to be seen again. So I thought. So a buddy of mine's a cop. Well, on the way out of the development that morning, I stopped at the security plate and I said, hey, check this out, because I had it, my ring thing. So he goes, oh, that's so-and-so. It's like, you're the ninth one complaining about her, right? So somehow she got in the development, and we have a gated community. And she got in, she hitched a ride in with somebody and was going door to door, at 2 o'clock in the morning, stoned out of her mind. So a buddy of mine's a cop. So I said, hey, check this out. He goes, oh, that's so-and-so. It's like, you know her? He goes, I've arrested her like 15 times. So then I run into the local judge in the post office. It's like, hey, check this out. He goes, oh, that's so-and-so. She's been before me, I don't know how many times. And I said, and she's still out on the street? She should be in a loony bin. But her parents finally had her committed. Thank God.
Right.
She needed the help. But
Yeah. Well, that's the get your mind really messed up.
More
Them
than.
drugs, man. That'll do it.
Then her brother tried to rob a supermarket with a knife, and the girl and the cashier went to high school with this guy and knew him immediately.
Oh.
So when the cops showed up, oh yeah, it was so and so, this girl's sister
Right,
or brother.
Jeez. Yeah,
The
there's
Poconos.
There's not a
Not a dull day.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway.
That was a complete left turn. I don't know how we got on that, but how about that Maryland congressman that went to El Salvador?
Oh yeah. Did he get back yet?
Yeah, he came back and he's
he?
all pissed off.
Okay.
And he went down there to see, what was that guy's name? We have it written down here somewhere.
Abrego Garcia.
Yeah,
right?
that guy, the MS gang member
Yeah.
who got deported. So he went down there. The guy's name is Glenn Ivey. He said he was stonewalled by the El Salvadorian government, that they wouldn't let him into the jail to see this guy. Wouldn't even tell him if he was in that jail. And he got all mad, like pissy about it, and saying that he was there to talk to his constituent. But meanwhile, the guy's an El Salvador resident, right? He's not a U.S. citizen. He's not a U.S. Well, he was living in Maryland, but still, the guy's an illegal alien who got deported.
All they see, I mean, it's right there. He said it out loud.
My constituent.
They see his votes, ballots. They don't see faces. They don't see humans. All they see is ballots.
Right.
That's it.
But it's a joke.
Yeah. Every tombstone's a ballot.
And he swears up and down on a stack of Bibles that the government did not pay for his trip. I don't buy it for a minute.
Well, it paid for it somehow because he's made his money being in government, right?
Right.
Does
Absolutely.
Does he have a company or?
I don't know. Well, that's another one that came out recently. Well, no, it's been coming out. Is all these Congress people? There's I forget which department is looking into all this, about how does a congressman on $174,000 a year all of a sudden have a net worth of like $100 million? Like, how does that happen?
It's, inquiring minds want to know.
Absolutely.
And it's, where's the money coming from?
Well, that's the thing.
If it's taxpayer money, which everything is taxpayer money, let's face it. It doesn't work unless you spend some, right? Mm-hmm. And that company pays taxes, or it's all intertwined. Whether it's somebody giving a donation or some sort of favor to a family member or something like that, which we supposedly have laws for, but doesn't seem like they hold up or are enforced.
That's the big thing, the enforcement.
Yep. We can stop or try and stop planes in mid-flight, but you can't look into these people's bank accounts to find out where they're getting
The money from.
these $100 million bank accounts. You know what I mean? And we don't even know if that's just the stuff that we know about.
Yeah, what about the stuff we don't know about?
Right.
So I also read in the same article that they're going to start looking at offshore bank accounts, but how would they even begin to do that?
Well, these days it'd be a lot easier. I think you can, and I think that's what's happening in Doge. They create programs or algorithms or however that they're actually tracking where everything. You have to write a program to find out where everything is going, because to try to do that on a piece of paper,
It'd be nuts. You'd have a flow chart that would be the size of this whole building.
So
I didn't mean to touch your knee.
Yeah. And he did it again. As he was saying, he was sorry. It's my Podpinions.
That's right. Your Podpinions.
So, to try and do that manually, you can't. But, now with the...
But wait a minute. They did that in that cave for the what was it, Social Security or something, pensions?
Yeah, right.
They had the cave
salt
with the
mine.
Yeah, with the people doing everything manually.
Right. So when somebody says, well, back to the salt mines.
There you go.
I guess it's a real thing. Yeah.
So it can be done manually.
Well, it can be done manually, but no, it can't, because they don't know where all the money's going.
Right.
So
I was being facetious.
And they can only do 8,000 to 10,000 retirements a month, because that's all they can handle.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm just curious how these people wind up with all this money on $174,000 a year. How is that possible? Any of you know? Put it in the comments below.
yes, and there are people that know.
Or shoot us an email. Either way.
Yeah, that's what they have to look into, and they're going to have to use computer programs to do that.
Right.
I mean, they had the bank. If you deposit more than $600, you know, that gets reported to the IRS.
Right, correct.
But then I saw that there was like a cap.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Maybe I got to look that up, but it was like $600 to.
And there was something on top.
Something
but
on
what
top.
about above that?
Right. And that's where all the fraud's going to be. Not the
Oh,
freaking
duh.
$600.
Duh.
So
poor little slobs like us that put like $600 in the bank, cash, like that you saved up, you know, from like your loose change or something.
right, that gets reported, but
Right.
these people,
Like
nothing
Al
happens.
Sharpton. You know, I mean, he owed the IRS like millions.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
whatever
think he
happened?
still does. I don't think he's ever paid it.
Did he work out a payment plan?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Well, I don't know the man, so
Well,
I can't ask him.
Why don't you come on now?
I don't want to even meet the guy. He skeeves me. The guy's just. I liked him better when he was fat.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I think.
He went on the.
Well, you know, the thing about losing the weight, I don't think you should keep the clothes and wear them. You know?
You mean, go to a tailor, get it tailored.
Right.
Don't wear a
have-
size
I
58 when
have
you're a size
noticed
30 or
people
42
that
regular.
have lost a lot of weight.
They keep the
just
same clothes.
Won't give up that frickin' suit.
Or just get it tailored. You know, get it altered.
Right.
Yeah, so if you're a size 41 regular now and you still have a size 54 suit.
Right. Well, maybe he's being frugal, trying to
Frugal?
save up to pay his taxes.
Oh, that could be. Maybe
know,
that's it.
That could be.
I don't think so, but I just think he's different.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what makes the world go
The
around.
other
That's
one
what-
that gets me is I'm just old school this way. Speaking of suits. So I see guys that will wear a sport jacket and it's down to here, right? And it's baggy. And it's like, get the thing altered. You know, don't look in the mirror. This just looks stupid. I'm just...
No, I know. But, you know, to be fair, it's like, where do you go to? Unless you're in a city. I mean, around here.
No, there's a place right in Stroudsburg. Guy
No.
does great. She does it next door here.
But I'm saying, unless you know a place.
Well, we have the interwebs. Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you. Thank you, Al Gore.
You can look it up on the interwebs. Tailor near me. Enter. And it'll just keep spitting stuff out.
I did that, and I got a chance to get front row tickets to Swift. Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore. Okay, so you put in suit alterations near me.
And it came up Swifty. Altercations.
Oh, man. Yowza.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
You know, so AI saw a ways ago.
Forgive us. We're having fun.
Yes.
That was good.
Yeah. Well,
Anyhow,
you know.
So, if you need a good tailor, comment below and we'll hook you up. I know a million of them. Well, not a million, but quite a few.
Right. So what else we got?
Between here, New Jersey, and New York, I know a million of them. What else we got? All kinds of stuff. There's here we go. This is good. You ready for this one?
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It just popped in. You know, you get on those automated calls. The you know, say your question here. It's just it just popped in my head. It's like Taylor near me.
Woo! Like the one we had before. Guy calls up and he says, I answered the phone, and the guy said, hi, my name is Mark, and I'm calling about your merchant services. And this guy had an accent I mean, he was either from Afghanistan or somewhere, and I just said to him, don't be a jerk. Your name's not Mark. You live in a cave in Afghanistan. Please go away. Click. It was unbelievable. It's like, do those people actually think we're that stupid?
Yes, I do.
Oh, man.
Well, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
We'll get our
act back together here.
I might make a call just to test it.
See you in a minute.
Bye. All right, we composed ourselves and we're back.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So we had this little chat during the break, and we were talking about Al Gore with the interwebs.
Yes.
Thank you, Al Gore. And it dawned on me that he gave us algorithms.
Algorithm. Al Gore.
Rhythm.
Rhythm. Right. That's awesome. Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore.
I mean, is it by chance?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or did he really invent it?
It could be. We should check. I'm going to
look into this.
Look into that. Yeah. We'll
into the
see.
algorithms.
Algorithm.
Good one, right? So,
does Al Gore have rhythm? That's the question.
No, he claps on 1 and 3.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, where are we here? Well, the
it's like the tire came off the car. We're trying to keep it on the highway.
We're on our rims, ladies and gentlemen. But the State Department is now planning to bolster its efforts to vet and screen the social media of foreign students before they give them student visas.
Uh-huh.
So this should get interesting, because
Right.
what happened was all those Palestinian crazy kids that were protesting and causing all kinds of havoc, evidently their social media posts were very hateful and disturbing. And if they had looked at that first, they never would have gotten their visas.
Uh-huh.
So,
And they left them up there, obviously.
correct.
Okay.
Stupid. So that should be interesting. So the State Department is now suspending all foreign student visas until further notice, until they can vet all these kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be. And then
I've heard, too, some instances, a couple, where these kids are not kids. They're 20 years old, 22 years old in high schools. I think I just read somewhere there was like a 24-year-old posing as a high school student.
They must have been in like West Virginia.
Well,
sorry.
I mean it was a foreign
No,
student.
I know. Oh, foreign kid.
Yeah. And lied about the age and was in high school. So I'm not sure why. I mean, there's got to be a reason. I don't know if he needed the the certificate for
College.
or something, or
It's kind of
degree.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that one. And
Yeah.
sorry, West Virginia. I didn't mean to insult you all. Just the redneck joke that,
Yeah, I know.
the grown adult in third
Yeah,
grade.
yeah.
Anyhow. But,
We get it.
I just didn't want to offend anybody.
Pennsyltucky.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Okay. And I actually, never mind. So, Trump is also going to start, he did the whole thing with, what was it, Harvard? He took the money away from them?
Harvard, yeah. Well,
So
yep.
they're going nuts. But he wants to take that money now that the government's like how many millions of dollars, and wants to give it as scholarships or for trade schools.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I think it's great.
I don't think, obviously, the higher education has got us where we're at, so that's not working.
Right.
We need, we need electricians, welders.
Absolutely. A friend of mine's an electrician, and he can't hire anybody.
Yeah.
There's nobody. He said there's nobody around.
Right. And I heard
And he needs the help desperately.
Even the unions are hurting because, the union basically is almost like a pyramid type.
Mm-hmm.
They retire, but the younger ones are coming in.
Right.
And, they're having trouble getting new blood in there. Nobody wants to do those jobs because it's manual labor.
Yeah, but it's, like an electrician makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Plumbers make a fortune.
Right. It's Strawberry pickers, not so much, I guess.
I guess not.
But
Good summer
electricians,
job for high school kids.
Yes. Wasn't there something? Someplace wasn't Martha's Vineyard. It was one of these other places that just ICE went in and rounded up some illegals.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So they're still on the go doing that. And
They should come
throughout
here.
the years,
They should
throughout
come
the years,
here.
I've known people that have made a life legally here,
Oh, me too.
and they're not happy about
Not at
just
all.
letting people of all the time and money and just dedication that it took them to be able to
Okay.
put
Funny
their
you sh-
hand up and become a citizen.
Right.
You know.
All right, I got a story about that. So I have a story about everything. But I have a cousin who I never knew existed. So on Facebook, this is a couple years ago, I get this text message on Facebook in Messenger. And it's from this guy. I have no idea who this guy is, right? So he says, I'm your cousin. I live in blah, 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 blah. And he's sending me, like, my father's death certificate. So it was freaking me out because I didn't know this guy from a hole in the wall, right? Well, it turns out my grandfather and his grandfather were brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know. Well, I didn't know my grandfather. He died in 1945. So, I wasn't born yet.
The reason you found him was on Facebook.
No, he found me.
Or I'm
so
saying,
he was
the way
doing
you
his
guys
he was doing his
communicate.
genealogy thing,
Okay.
and I popped up somewhere, and
But it was on the interweb.
it was on the interwebs.
Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore, and the algorithms. So, anyhow, found me on Facebook and sent me this message, and I mean, it's really cool. I got this cousin and his sister, and we haven't met yet, and so he just recently sent me my grandmother's, my dad's mom's, her application for citizenship. It was in 1906, I believe. And it also had, she came over here, I found out, on the Carpathia. And like 6 months later, no, 6 months or 6 years later, the Carpathia went to rescue the people from the Titanic. But it was really fascinating to read all this and see it. And then her actual citizenship papers, which I have a copy of. I have the actual one, but it was the application and all the other stuff, and what they had to go through to become a citizen.
Right, yeah.
It really blew my mind. So thank you if you're watching.
Yeah.
I want to meet you one day, and then he turned me on to another cousin I have a mutual cousin in that I didn't even know existed. So I haven't met him yet either, but we converse on online.
No, that's
But it was
to
the
your
whole
point,
it was all the paperwork and all the stuff that they had to do in order to become a citizen.
and there was pride in doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
And you became an American citizen.
I remember when I was a little kid, after my grandfather passed, my grandmother, I guess, moved in with my parents, and so she, lived with us, and the cousins and whatnot would come over, the Hungarian side, not the German side, and although she spoke German too, and they would start speaking Hungarian in the house, and she'd say, "No, we're Americans now, English only," which really kind of, looking back, it's like, wow, that's that's really kind of impressive that she did that, because she didn't have to.
Right, yeah.
And she was so proud of being an American that that was it. No more Hungarian in the house.
Yeah, it's definitely
Which I kind of wish she didn't do that, because now
right.
I wanted to,
yeah, you could.
it'd be really cool to
speak.
be,
Yeah.
I understand a little bit, but
Right.
not much.
Podpinions.
That's right. Podpinions. Thank you, Al Gore.
Yes, thank you. Bringing families closer together.
That's right.
Yes.
It is, absolutely.
No, it is. It's awesome.
I mean, have you found any relatives
So
online?
I for a while, I did do that genealogy. I did find, I could never find it again. I wanted to print it out, and I don't remember what happened. Whether the printer didn't work, it was out of ink, whatever it was. This was years ago. But I did find my grandfather's, father and mother coming over.
Oh, cool.
In Ellis Island, and it had all the kids there, and the signatures, and the book. And
I smell a day trip coming on.
Yeah.
We should go to Ellis Island and look up our relatives.
But that was really, really cool, It's, like you said, to bring the family over and take a chance and for a better life. And unfortunately, it's used, that part of it is used to overshadow people coming here, just walking in and
absolutely
wanting to make a life for themselves. I don't want anybody not to be able to come.
No, but do it the right way. Do it the right way.
Do it the right way. Yeah, there's plenty of ways that you can do that, and you should be able to have enough. If you can walk 1,500 miles.
Do you really believe they walked 1,500 miles?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Or more.
But if they do,
with clean T-shirts,
if they do,
that say "Thank you, Joe Biden."
Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore. No, thank you, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. So, but if they do that, then they should have enough fortitude to
do it the right way.
Do it the right way. Yeah.
I don't buy for a minute that these people walked from like the bottom of South America all the way up South America through Mexico to the border.
But it's on the internet. It's got to be true.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. It's on Google.
I seen it.
I seen it on Google. I did.
Wow. Yeah, you can't convince me. I mean, not when the planes were landing in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre Airport, and they were busing people like all over the state in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was just
bizarro.
That was just being friendly.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, it was just like,
come see Scranton.
Yeah, here's a Taylor Swift ticket.
That's how she has these huge crowds. Right. They're illegal aliens. Let's start this whole big thing. Big rumor. Taylor Swift's crowds are illegal aliens. So there may be like 2 real fans. They're all illegals. What do you think?
I don't know.
Come on, spread it. Spread it for us, okay?
We need some new conspiracy theories. So
right, there's a good one.
Everything else.
That's a good one.
Everything else came true. So
this will too. Theories. Watch.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I love it.
Here we go again. There goes the other tire.
We got 1 tire left. There's 3. Now, how about that?
There's a donut in the trunk.
How about that deli meat, huh?
Oh, yeah, right.
Check this out. Last year, I was reading this thing online today, and it was talking about all these health issues from last year. Stuff that will, like, kill you. So number 1 on the list was deli meat. Who would have thunk it, right? So last year, Boar's Head, their plant contributed to the biggest outbreak of foodborne illnesses, causing the company to recall, ready for this, 7 million pounds of deli meat. Now, where'd that go? I mean, what do they do with it? How do you dispose of 7 million pounds of deli meat?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a big burning barrel.
Or feed all the illegals at the Taylor Swift concert. So anyhow, they said in this article, this is what cracked me up. Let's start laughing again. The group at greatest risk for foodborne illness, ready for now, pay attention, particularly deli meats, includes infants, young children, pregnant women, their unborn babies, older adults, and people with weakened immune systems. Why not just say everybody?
Well, it's like the
That's the theory of duh.
what was it?
Like,
Food,
wow.
Food. What was it? I saw it on the news. Food insecurities.
Oh, right. Food insecurities.
Food insecurity.
The new. Right. Wait,
It's
food
like
insecurity.
everyone or starvation.
Right. Yeah, food insecurities. You're starving.
Yes. But it's nicer.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Yes.
But yeah, so I cracked up when I read this thing. I said, hey, Bruce, you got to check this out. It's like, did you know? And it's like, oh, you mean everybody. I started losing it. So I just don't get it. Like, why wouldn't they just say everybody is at risk here?
Yeah, I don't know.
They have to give you a whole big list. Well, I guess it's more words for the article, so
that's
fills out the
possible.
page.
Yeah, that could be.
But this is a newspaper on the interwebs. Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Albert.
And so maybe they were just trying to fill space. I don't know, but don't give me this long laundry list. And
Well,
you
I mean,
really
it's better for
everybody.
the algorithm.
Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore.
And then the last but not least, the California's like at it again with there's a trans athlete, a guy who is
It used to be trans was like
A car.
continental, right?
Trans Am. I had a Trans Am as
Right,
a kid.
or continental, like you
Right,
were
transcontinental.
transitioning across the continents.
Well, now you're transitioning across the sexes
Okay, is that what it is?
or genders. I take that back. Genders. You're transitioning across the genders.
They have a passport.
I don't know. No, they're doing it illegally.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're
Probably the
have
Taylor
a-
Swift concert.
probably have a deli sandwich.
Yeah, there you go. So what's going on is there's this guy who's pretending to be a woman who's participating in California girls track and field state championship. And Gavin Newsom, thank you, Donald Trump, he's actually, Newsom is letting this happen. Now, a couple weeks ago, he said he was all against boys and girls sports. But here he's letting this happen. So now Trump is like saying, okay, if you're going to let this happen, we're taking away all your funding, your federal funding. So it's going to be a big...
Yeah. Well, that, and again, I mean...
I don't get it.
That's what they have to do. If they don't have the funding, they got to get it from somewhere else, and Doge is putting a squash on getting it from somewhere else because they're coming up with the finding all these billions of dollars that are going to these NGOs that are basically shell companies.
Right.
And
Money laundering at its best.
Right. So once you start cutting off the funds, then people start to kind of...
Oh, gee, we can't do that.
Right. It's amazing how that happens, but...
Yeah, I'm curious to see
So
what's
it
going to
works.
happen with this.
But
This poor kid, there's one girl that should have won the last race and didn't because of this guy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. We talked about it last time. Was the perpetual victim, and that musical should be coming out pretty soon, right?
Perpetual Victim, the musical.
The musical. And my thought was, how can women allow this to happen? Because you're giving away your rights as a woman to participate with other women to compete.
Yeah, we're the feminists.
And it's like they've made the whole group perpetual victims. I mean, maybe that's why it's being allowed, because the trans athletes are victims now because they can't play in women's sports.
Well, because they suck at men's sports.
Well, no, whatever reason, it just shouldn't be allowed. Because,
No, of course not.
Because you want fairness. And I guess equality, it's like if they don't allow this to happen, if they don't let this happen, men into women's sports, then they have to admit that men and women are physically different. And that goes against the equality thing.
But wait. Let's back up. So go back to like the 60s, or even before. You can go back to the suffrage movement, but the women's suffrages thing. But let's just go like 60s with like Playboy and all these women that were just like hell bent on like shutting Hugh Hefner down, right? All these women, flag waving women. I'm having a brain fart. You know what I mean?
Movement.
Yeah, thank you. So all the feminists, the Jane Fondas of the world, etc. And so what happened to all of them? Because they were screaming and yelling about equality for women,
Right.
and now this is like so, like flipped upside down.
Yeah, it's inside out.
So where are they?
I don't know.
The same ones that were
I don't
screaming
see
then,
them.
where are they now?
I don't see them.
I don't either.
And I don't see the new group doing that. And I don't understand, other than making the whole group the victim so that they can then generate NGOs to create money for the victims that never get to the victims. It's just one big pool of nonsense, I think. It has nothing to do with people's rights. That's what it comes down to.
Well, the people
It's
who have the
controlling
rights,
money.
the people who have the rights, in my opinion, in my podpinion, or podpignon, is that the women who are being, they're being ripped off by these guys.
Oh, yeah.
They're the
absolutely.
victims.
Yes, absolutely.
But they're making like these trannies are the
Are
victims.
the victims, yes. That's what I'm saying. It's whoever's the victim of the rise to the top can be the head victim, and then they make it just nonstop. Then they'll go to the next victim, whatever that may be. And it's the same way with voting. It's women voting. Well, there was a time that unless you were a landowner or somebody of significant stature,
You couldn't vote.
You couldn't vote, whether you were male, female, black,
Whatever,
white,
right.
whatever it was. So it's not just women, it's humankind that's been the victims. And just stop playing the victim and don't allow somebody into your to compete against you that shouldn't be there. I mean, it's not.
But like, where's the NCAA? Well, that's college, but like the high school, whatever the high school version of that is, where are they at?
Well, they're all, again, if they say something wrong, then they're going to be how it was before, is if they don't allow these kids to participate, then they lose funding.
How about you take these trannies? Take these tranny guys and let them play in
No, I agree with
boy
that.
sports.
even
Or have
if you
a
just
separate thing.
Or just have a group sport, and then anybody can join if they want to.
Right.
It doesn't matter, you're male, female, trans, whatever. Have we have to have
a separate category.
Family bathroom, and you have male, female, and then you have family or whatever they call it in some of these places. Well, have that too. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
But don't let them compete. I don't see women competing in men's sports.
Right.
I mean, it does happen occasionally,
Yes.
but
and that's fine too.
Right.
But really, again, if
that's
you
not
had,
right either, though.
If you had that category where anybody could compete,
Right.
then everybody could do that, and you keep this for women, just for men.
But I still want to know, where are the feminists on this?
No, I agree.
Where are they?
They're nowhere to be found.
They're invisible.
They are.
But yet they still sit there I mean, I hear it all the time on the interwebs. Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore.
They're screaming and yelling about, women's rights and this and that and the other, but then they don't stick up for this.
Right.
That's where I'm really confused.
Right. And this
is also from women I know.
Well, I think that's where the hypnosis mass formation type thing runs into a brick wall. And people are going, wait a minute. And they wake up, And then once you see that, then you see this, and then you see this, and then, all the money coming out on my check stub, and it's going to Sesame Street in
Iraq. Or Iran, wherever it was.
What's going on here?
Yeah, but then you have the women who scream and yell about equal pay for equal work. What's this?
No, I don't disagree.
Where are they? The same women that are screaming about that, where are they for this?
They're nowhere to be found.
Right.
And probably because then they're not the victims.
But the misogynistic bastards like us are fighting for that.
But the ones championing it are the victims championing for equal rights. But they can't be the champion here, and they can't be the victim championing for equal rights, because now your victim is not women.
This is just so messed up. It's unbelievable. It's completely backwards.
Yes, but it's all on the surface. It's right there. It's all out in the open. It's like you hear people talking about, I have to find my inner self, and I got to do all this work, and it's right here. It's right on the top. It's right there in front of you. It's like there's a saying, trees for the forest, and you don't have to look that deep.
Oh, no, not at all. But I'm just throwing it out there. It's like, where are they?
I know. But I'm saying it gets mixed up to, I got to talk to my, person I talk to, or a therapist, or, to try and figure this out. It's right there.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's not. And you don't need really somebody to kind of explain. It's simple. It's somebody who's trying to be a woman that's not a woman in women's sports, and they're winning because they're not a woman.
Right. They're guys.
So, once you take out the fluff and all the money and all the sessions and all the, meditation and all this other stuff, it's right there in front of you. You just have to open your eyes, and, sometimes it's not what you want to see, but it's there.
True.
I don't know.
A scary world. When I was a little kid, I never thought for a million years we'd be seeing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or even talking about it.
Right. No, it was, I don't know. You just, again, they play on people's feelings, and you're scared of being ostracized or not in the crowd, or, looked at as being, whatever, phobic. They label you, so they use fear.
I'm D all of the above.
They use fear to control you, and that's what it is. It's pretty simple.
Right.
It's not.
But as far as the being ostracized thing, I've been there. Being a conservative in the music world, just really went.
Yeah. And they.
But I don't care. That's the part that's funny, is like, I don't give a shit.
Right.
And they think I do.
Right.
But it's kind of comical.
Yeah. And it's all coming full circle now. Like I said, it's, we're a lot closer up here, and they're a lot closer down here.
That was in the last episode.
Yeah.
We're doing the full circle thing.
Than what you think, except for a couple things.
We still need like Venn diagrams we can put up on the screen, the Kamalas.
Yes, right. Maybe we can get a something on the internet.
On the interwebs.
Yeah,
Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore.
We decided anytime the word internet or interwebs comes up, it's like, thank you, Al Gore.
Yes. And we'd like you to do that as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Give credit.
We should do a drinking
credit
game.
is.
Every time we say internet, Al Gore. Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore.
The drinking game. Take
Yes,
a shot.
yes. Go for the algorithm.
Right. The drinking algorithm.
What do you think?
We're time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We got to go to that Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah. I got tickets. So.
He got them on the interwebs.
Yes.
Thank you, Al Gore. On that note,
yeah.
we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Slam the follow button. This is Podpinions.